Good afternoon and welcome to day 3. So today it is Wednesday, the day before Halloween, my booktube anniversary. I'm very excited. What to update you on? I just woke up. I will admit, I did not go and catch up on my chapters of Night of the Witch last night, so I need to do that today. I need to read a couple chapters from yesterday and then my 7 for today, so we need to get on that. I did start an audiobook though. I should have listened to Night of the Witch, but I don't like the narrators. So I started the audiobook for a book called Dead Girls Walking by, I think, Sami Ellis. Yeah. So I was listening to that while I was playing Disney Dreamlight last night and playing my little mobile games and stuff like that. I'm like 44% of the way through, and it is pretty interesting and very much a bit spooky so far. I'm not like completely pulled in, and I think what I'm like really understanding is, unless it's a teen fantasy, I'm not into it anymore. I'm not. Teen horror is such a fun time, but it just doesn't really go as hard as it should. I feel like teen mysteries and thrillers maybe I'm still kind of into, because I'm like thinking of like some of my favorite authors, and like I love Tiffany D. Jackson, and she has been diving more into horror than thrillers, and to be honest, they're not my favorite ones of hers. They're just not. I'm still gonna read them because I love her, but they're not my favorites. So I think like contemporary romance, horror, anything other than fantasy, thriller, mystery, I'm not into teen as much anymore. And that's completely fine with me. I never thought I'd see the day, but I'm completely fine with it. So like it is good, but it's just not there yet. And I already have the feelings of like there's going to be like some cheap cop out at the end, I feel. So it's about a girl whose dad is a famous serial killer, and he has been sent to prison, and he tells her that he murdered her mother and to go back to the farm they used to live on and find her body. Because, like, you don't believe me? Go dig up her body. So the farm has now been turned into a camp for horror fans. Really, it's for fans of, like, this one particular author who's a local horror author who's also a Black woman, if I'm not mistaken. And they just started this camp. So she goes under the guise of a camp counselor for this camp, and it's all a ruse to, like, look for clues of what happened to her mom. Now, the thing is, the killings have started again, and they're the exact same way as her father, so now she has to figure out, is there a copycat? Hello, Pepe. Was her dad... Well, we know her dad's not innocent, because she literally has memories of, like, watching him kill people, and, like, what I think is wild is that it's usually they had no idea that their parent or family member or whoever is a serial killer. But in this one, like, her and her mother knew full well, but he was so controlling. Like, they lived out on this farm. They had no technology. They didn't go to school. Nothing. So it kind of makes sense that they were full aware of what he was doing and didn't stop him, because, like, that's how she was raised. He's obviously, like, brainwashed her mother. And then there could be something going on with, like, demons, because she, like, gets into the house and she's hearing, like, banging. Like, she's literally physically seeing doors slam shut and open up on their own. But she's like, that stuff's not real. And she even has, like, a flashback to her dad telling her, like, it might be scary, but you can ignore it. But then if you hear a voice, don't ignore that, or something, like, that's real. So I don't know, like, there's some weird stuff going on. One of the rumors is that he was possessed by the devil or a demon, and that's why he did it. So almost kind of like Amityville Horror kind of vibes, but a Black family and a bit more almost like cultish, it kind of feels. So I don't know. I'm interested, and it had me spooked. Like, I stayed up later than I wanted to, so I could watch a little bit of Olivia Reads a Latte vlog, so that I could hopefully not have bad dreams. And I don't think I did have any bad dreams, so it worked. But, okay, enough shitty chat. What's going on today? Oh, I have on my spooky pajamas. My name is Lewis. So this is Target's, like, Halloween mascot, basically. And I was in the men's section, and they had these shirts for, like, $8 or $6. I was like, sold. I love a big t-shirt that I can wear to bed. So, got this. I'm going to read some of Night of the Witch while my computer's booting up so I can edit days 1 and 2 and put that up. I want to listen to more of Dead Girls Walking. And then for my craft today, I do have this little Createology. This is another little kit that my friend got me in my boo basket, but this one I'm definitely going to keep. And it is this little cat on a stack of books. It even comes with, like, I don't know if you can see any of it, but it comes with like the easel and everything. So that should be very, very quick to make. So I think I'm going to do that and maybe also crochet today. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, do some reading, and then do some editing. Folks, I'm uploading days 1 and 2's vlog. Why is it 40 minutes? I did have a lot of montages. There was like more montages than there was actual talking. So the montages are canceled or down to a minimum. I was just trying to make it fun, and I also didn't want to like not include it because it was a good time. 40 minutes? 40. Okay, so I am done editing this. It is going up. I hope you like my little Halloween transitions I found. They're so cute. Hopefully the music isn't annoying. I use this like the same song for the montages on the first day and then the same one on the second day, like a different song but the same one on the second day. You know what I'm saying. But now, montages to a minimum, which is fine because my plans today is like probably playing some video games. I'm gonna do a little crafty craft over here in just a second, but you know, cutting it down. I cannot have another 40 minutes. 40 minutes should be what the last vlog is. Oh, I do have something to update you on. I read up to chapter 15, so I am caught up for yesterday's Night of the Witch, and it's getting interesting. Did I already tell you guys this? I don't think so. But it's getting really interesting. I am intrigued. Stuff is happening. I really need to know more about our girl's powers because she's saying that they're acting crazy right now. And it does seem like our boy is good. So that's good. And he's starting to catch feelings. So I'm excited to see what the next 7 chapters today brings us. Because I think this is when we're like really going to get into like the meat and potatoes of the story is like today and tomorrow. So I'm going to do a little craft. I showed you the little like cat painting. So I'm going to do that. There's going to be a small montage. It's not going to be of me painting. I'm just going to show you some progress, okay? That's it. Check in later. Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to day 4 of the Book Bite-a-thon. We have a lot of stuff to talk about because I did do a lot of reading last night. But first, let's show you the Halloween outfit today. So I have this super cute overall dress that I have a sweater paired over on top. Then at the bottom, I just have some thermal leggings. And then I have some spooky purple socks that have skeletons on them. Oh, and before I forget, I have this spooky spider clip in. Hopefully you can actually see that. See if I can get you away from this glare I've got going on. Okay, let's talk books, because I have done quite a bit of reading, but not the best of reading, and I'll explain. So I did finish Dead Girls Walking by Sami, Ellis. I am giving this book probably like a 2.75, but we'll round up to a 3 for places that don't do that, so everywhere but Storygraph. It has definitely like solidified that teen horror is just not for me. It never really pushes it far enough to actually be scary. It was kind of spooky and creepy and a bit messed up, but I was left with so many questions by the end. Like, we are having all of these people die, and I'm not going to tell you like any spoilers or anything, but basically she learns more about why her dad was doing the killings. I will give you a slight spoiler and just say it is supernatural, and if you're someone like me, you don't like going in thinking it's not going to be supernatural, and it is. It just feels very cheap. And I think that this gives enough clues like ahead of time so that you know that something supernatural is going on. So I wasn't that mad about it, but at the same time, it's like, I just want people being bad people. I don't want there to be like, oh no, they're actually good people. It's just this other thing that's going on. I don't love that. So what really got me and what really just like sank it from like either a solid 3 or a 3 point something is how many questions I was left with at the ending. So all of these killings are going on. Killings start happening at the camp, and by the end of it, we have some surviving people, and it just ends. And I know that like the overarching conflict with Temple and her family in the past, that has been resolved. But to the cops who are showing up to this absolute massacre, who did it? What happened to these people? Etc., etc. Like, I don't understand how you're going to explain this to the cops when they show up of how everyone died and who did it. Are you just going to be like, I don't know who it was? And there's other people. It's not just one final girl. So it's like all of you are going to have to come up with the same story and stick to it. And that's just, come on. Come on. And then if you explain the truth, they're going to be like, yeah, okay, so it's definitely one of you. Like, I don't know. The whole thing is just kind of ridiculous. And I feel like there was still like a ton of questions, even surrounding like her family and their past and why they kill people in the first place. Like, I just, what? So, that's done. It is what it is. Teen horror is just not it. It's just not it. I had the feeling, it started to grow, and now it's official. Not doing teen horror, unless it's Stephanie D. Jackson. I will read hers, even though I'm still not going to love it. But I pretty much listened to that exclusively yesterday to get it finished. So then I started a new book, a new audiobook, because I wanted to listen to something while I was playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. Actually, I started in bed last night, and I wanted to play on my tablet. So even though I should have just not played games on my tablet and read The Night of the Witch, instead, I started an audiobook that I am loving, you guys. I am loving it. So I started Do Your Worst by Rosie Danan. This is a book about a girl who is a curse breaker. And this is an adult romance. So we have this woman who's a curse breaker. She is in either Ireland or Scotland. And she has been brought here by these developers who are trying to create this like tourist attraction at this old castle. And there has been like for the last 500 years talks about how there is a curse put on this castle that anyone who owns it, they don't end up owning it for long. Their projects never work out. Things go missing. Weird stuff is happening, etc., etc. So we have our curse breaker who has been, she's from a long line of curse breakers, and she's like, my family has always done it for free, never for profit, just to help people, and we've always lived very poorly because of it. And so I'm going to be the first one in our family to actually try to make money from it. So she is charging people when she can to help them break curses. And so she goes to, I think it is Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm trying to think where Loch Ness is, and this castle is like nearby. Does it tell me in the description? It probably does. Okay, yes, she is in Scotland. That's what I thought. So she goes to Scotland to try and help with this curse, and she's like, if I can figure this out, like this is a huge opportunity. Like all my other people have been like a football team that had a curse, a random person, a widow, or maybe she was a spinster. I don't remember, but nobody of like note has she helped. So like by landing this case and by solving the curse, this would be a super big deal for her, and she could get more and more legitimate clients, even though they're all legitimate, but more people that people feel like they can trust when they read their testimony from. So she goes and she meets a guy named Clark. By the way, her name is Riley. So she meets Clark and she meets him in a bar, and she's like, wow, he's extremely handsome. And she talks to the bartender and asks her, like, do you know who that is? And she's like, oh yeah, that's Clark. He is an archaeologist. And she's like, oh my God, I just watched a documentary about archaeology. Or I think it was a movie, but it was based on a true story. And she's like, I'm gonna go talk to him. And she's like, I don't know if you should. And she's like, oh, please. And just like takes off. So she starts chatting him up. It turns out that the the movie is actually based on his father's life. And him and his dad have a terrible, terrible relationship. And so he just pretends like he doesn't know, or he says that he knows the guy it's about, but he doesn't tell her it's his dad. And she's like, he's very, like, his dad is famous. So he's very used to people who find out it's his dad and they kind of like fangirl over it and, you know, ask intrusive questions and stuff like that. But she's like, can I be kind of honest since you know him? And he's like, sure. And she's like, he seems kind of, and he's like, here we go. She's going to talk all of his praises. She's like, kind of like a dick. And he's like, I've never met anybody who got that impression from my father. Everyone loves him. So he's like immediately just like, okay, she's someone different. So they have an amazing time. He takes her out to dinner. They share this extremely passionate kiss. Like, sparks are flying. So then the next day, and she doesn't tell him what she does until she's leaving. She gives him her business card and she's like, here's how you can contact me. I'll be in town for the week. So he thinks that she's just in town as a tourist to kind of go to the castle and blah, blah, blah. So he doesn't think anything of it until she gives him her business card and he finds out she's a curse breaker. He looks into it and he thinks that she is just like a con artist. Okay, sorry about that. The camera died. Where was I? Oh, he has had some trouble in his past career-wise and he's trying to like rebuild his reputation. And so when he finds out that she is working for the estate just like he is, he has been tasked with trying to find any artifacts that he can find, even though he does not specialize in this time period at all. But it's like the first opportunity to try to rebuild his name and his reputation. So he finds out that she's also been assigned to this and he thinks that she's a con artist and he's like, the last thing I need is another scandal. So he tries to convince the employer to fire her and she overhears it when she is walking in on her first day. So now they've gone from like extreme passion, extreme connection to extreme cold and bitterness. And now they're kind of like in this rivalry where like they're extremely attracted to each other and they had an amazing time that night, but then they don't understand each other's past. Like he doesn't understand that she is legitimate and she doesn't know about his past with his career. So they've got kind of a miscommunication, but at the same time, like, why would they tell each other kind of thing? And he hasn't even given her the benefit of the doubt to be legitimate. So he's like kind of creating these tasks to find out if she's for real. And she's trying to break down his walls to find out what happened to like the guy that she was like really starting to vibe with the other night. So it's extremely heated. It has already been like pretty steamy because they're like egging each other on, and at one point they are in his camper doing some research together because it's extremely hard for her to find or get access to like scholarly stuff because she is just like a regular person, whereas because of his reputation and being an archaeologist, he has access to like all these journals and books and libraries and things like that that she doesn't have access to. So she comes over his house to look at the research that he has done from an archaeology standpoint to see if she can figure out where the curse might stem from. They kind of start egging each other on of like, I'm not attracted to you, you're attracted to me. He had earlier like saved her from like a snafu that she created and he's kind of sore from it. And so she's like, okay, I'll give you a massage because I'm not attracted to you, so I have no problem with doing that and it won't affect me. And he's like, okay, I'm not attracted to you, so if you give me a massage, I'm not going to be affected either. And he gets extremely affected, and so does she. So she kind of just like leaves because he's like, okay, thanks, I'm good. And he like throws a pillow in front of him for obvious reasons, and she decides not to comment on it, but it's just like, okay, yeah, totally, see you tomorrow, and leaves. But she's like, holy crap, I'm super affected by that. Like, I really wanted to do more than just put my hands on him. He ends up relieving himself, but the thoughts he thinks about her and what he could do to her, and oh my god, like, they haven't even done anything, and I'm like, so I just know this book is going to be amazing, and I'm like 30-something% of the way through it, but then my earbuds died, and it was like 5 a.m., so I needed to go to sleep. But I have done no reading for Night of the Witch for yesterday, so again, I need to catch up and try to read today's chapters as well. So I think today I am just going to, the only reading I'm doing is Night of the Witch. Once I get my allotted chapters caught up, then I can look back at Do Your Worst because, oh, I'm loving it so much. I'm so enjoying it. So right now, I think I'm going to work on my reading journal. I have to create my spreads for November as well as my story templates that I always post every month on Instagram. And I have no idea what I'm doing this month. It's the biggest reason why I've put it off is just like, I don't know what my theme should be. I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm very much still in like the spooky season, so I almost want to do something spooky for November and just kind of carry it on instead of trying to go more of like the fall route. But I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel. But I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and then I will update you guys when something cool starts going on today. Hi, it is Halloween night. Halloween is officially over. I'm just in some normal clothes right now to go to bed. But I'm not going to bed yet because it's only like 9:30. So what did we do? I got a delicious Domino's pizza. I made the house all cute. I showed you guys how I like made the lights all cute. I had Halloween lo-fi music playing. I put out all my Halloween stuff, and then nobody came to trick or treat. And I was giving out bags of popcorn. But this is the first time that we've ever done trick-or-treating here. We usually go to my mom's house on Halloween. And this year, because it was on a Thursday, she was like, everyone's got to work. I'm just gonna not do anything at my house. So we're like, that's fine. We've been wanting to like see how our complex and neighborhood is to see if, you know, we do get trick-or-treaters, if we should spend Halloween at home. But yeah, not a single one. My husband did see like little kids out in the neighborhood when he was coming home, but to be honest, there's not a ton of kids in our complex. There's like maybe 2 in the immediate area, and with us being at the end of a dead end, it's like if they're used to us not being here, they probably wouldn't even look down here to see if we were going to be passing out candy. But yeah, not a single soul. So now I have 2 boxes of 32, so 64 bags of popcorn, all to myself. But that is completely fine. We did watch the Halloween episode of Abbott Elementary. We watched Nightmare Before Christmas. We watched the overseas special Halloween, I guess like season 2, if you will, of Project Fear, because if you ever watched Destination Fear, which was on Discovery, they have now had their show canceled. Wonder who made that happen? Zach Baggins. And now they're on YouTube. And honestly, it is just as good, if not better, than when it was on TV. And I'm loving it. I'm really, really liking it. So they did a like special where they're going to be overseas in, I don't know if it's just in England or where, but we watched the episode of that. And that was pretty much our Halloween night. But I had a nice, good, relaxing time. My husband gave me a neck massage, and that severely dissipated my headache and nausea that I've been experiencing all day. This period is kicking my ass. But I did do a small, teeny tiny amount of reading before my husband got home. Not even a chapter. But I'm really liking the chapter we're on right now. I think chapter 15. And Otto has come to check up on Fritzy, and he notices that where she had the manacles on, she's like bleeding and raw and stuff like that, and he offers to help her, and she's like, I'm in so much pain, but I can't admit that to him because then he wins, so I'm just gonna say no. And he like basically forces her to let him help her, and like she says a line that's like, I can't believe someone as large and powerful and strong as he is can touch me so gently and treat me like I'm an eggshell. And I'm just like, oh my god, this book is gonna get so good. It's gonna get so good. I need to look if this is technically an adult or if it's considered YA, because she's 18 and he's, I'm gonna assume, in his early 20s. So I don't know what's technically considered, so I don't know how much steam I should expect. I feel like not a ton of steam, but you never know. You never know. Because Beth Revis, from what I've read, is YA. Sarah's books are more like new adult. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it and see kind of like, should I expect some more like adult scenes, or are we gonna stay pretty PG? I'm at a point right now where I'm like, I want to keep reading. So that's really exciting. So I think we're going to do a montage, and we are gonna go upstairs back into my office. I need to finish working on Canva. So I did my reading journal, but I need to make my Instagram templates to post for anyone who wants to use them. And I need to like backtrack. I have not used my own Book Bite-a-thon Instagram templates, so I need to go post those up, make my Instagram templates for the month of November, get those posted, and then read. And I might crochet as well. The night is young. The night is young. So let's get upstairs, let's light a candle maybe, and have the rest of our little spooky night together. I said onto the montages and then forgot to hit record. So we're going to do a little chatty walkthrough of what I did. So first I'm going to show you my reading journal. Okay, so here is my November title page. Oh, that reminds me, I need to title them as well. So we'll do that at the end. So I decided to go with kind of like a fall cozy vibe is what I decided to go with. So I have these trees that their leaves are coming down. We've got some string lights in the trees, and then we have this cute little forest down here. So then I decided to open up the forest, and you can see we have this cute little seating area. I decided to include this bonfire that has a jack-o'-lantern because I still want to keep it just a little spooky. Then we have my reading plan page, which goes back to how it was on the title page, except for in a straight line instead of triangular. Then the books read, which opens up to this little cozy reading area in the woods. And then finally the book stats, which is the triangle shape again. But if you did notice, we did have all these little fall colors sprinkled in. I have 1 star on each already, just so that way I know what colors to use. But otherwise, this is it. It is so cute. So then for my Instagram stories, I decided to do the same thing. I did the triangular version, and then I did switch up kind of like the colors on each one. So here is my tentative November TBR. We'll see what actually gets done. Then the currently reading, the monthly reads, and then it goes into the ones that I share with you guys, which are basically the same. The only big difference is you guys get a grid for your tentative TBR, and the bottoms of them change. So mine say created by me, link in bio for Goodreads, and then yours just say created by me. So then here are yours. So yes, I'm going to post those up. Those should be done. And now I think I might do like a little like read with me montage real quick, since we are vastly approaching the end of day 4. Day 4? Yeah. And then 5, 6, and 7 are in the next one. So we will do that and then call it a night. I did want to tell you, I will try to put a link in this reading vlog. Let me get the URL for it. So if you have gone on Google today, you've noticed that there is like this cute little image, which I will put up on the screen as well. Okay, so if you've done any Googling today, you'll see this cute little image here. And I had to click on it. And it's this super cute little game where you have to like draw the symbols in order to like defeat the ghosts and move up the levels, which I did do it in one try. Did lose a couple lives and then had to figure out how to get the lives back. That last boss level was a bit difficult. My God, especially using a mouse. So I am going to play it again on my tablet. We'll see if I can play it on my tablet. And then it said that there was a part 2, which I think is technically a part 1, because when I said continue on to part 2, it took me to one that said that it was for 2020. So I'm going to play that. And it's like, it is so cute. I love the artwork. I love the artwork so much. But yeah, it was so fun. So I will leave the link. You guys should be able to click that link and play it yourself. Oh, look at my little spooky cup that I'm using. My little skeleton hand. Love it. All right, let's play this game really quick, and then we'll do some reading. Okay, I have moved down to the living room to update you one last time. I have officially caught up with where I should be at with Night of the Witch. I am starting chapter 29 on day 5. Yes. So, I just finished with chapter 28. This book is getting creepy. This book, I know it's about witches, so you'd think like, oh, that's perfect for fall. But like, it's creepy. So like, it's perfect for the book by that. Perfect. I am really, really liking this. I am liking how the romance is definitely a slow burn. I am liking that I looked it up and it is a YA, so I don't think scenes will get too steamy, but you never know. But because it's a YA, usually in YA fantasy, it's like nothing really matters. Like they say that there's things at stake or that these things can't be done, but things always end up working out in teen fantasy. So it's almost like, okay, then why did we do all this stuff for it to not matter in the end, for there to be an easy way to get through this, you know? But I still, because I have anxiety, I'm having a lot of anxiety, especially with like any sort of like dawdling. And it's not purposeful dawdling. It's not like they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. But like when they're trying to save Liesel, I'm just like, get out of there. Hurry up. We don't have time for this. When we're at this old lady's house, get out of there. Something weird's going on. I'm spooked. But yeah, I am enjoying it. I am excited. I don't know what my prediction is because I'm 60% of the way through. And it is interesting and it's reading very fast. I mean, this isn't like a huge long book. I'm just like, you know, dragging it out so that I can like slowly talk about it with you guys and take the week to finish the book marathon. But it just feels like very intriguing. Like I want to keep reading. I'm like blazing through the chapters. So it must be like they're short chapters because there's like a lot of chapters for such a small book. It's like 300 and some pages, I think. But it just feels like in my head, it's such a daunting task to read 14 chapters, but I flew through them, like no problem. I read the first chapter physically with you guys, and then I did turn off the camera and crochet while listening to the audiobook to get through the rest. And now that I'm like enjoying the story, the narrators don't bother me so much. It's definitely much more enjoyable when I physically read it, but it's not awful. And because I've had a taste of physically reading it and knowing how good the story is, it's just these narrators who aren't great. I'm able to kind of separate that. So it's like, while it did take some time, you know, I think like 2 hours I listened, it still didn't feel like it was a chore to get through these. Like I feel like when I have to catch up, I'm easily able to catch up. And I think it's because it's so like fast paced and intriguing. I'm not sure what, if I was going to predict a star rating, I definitely feel like it's going to be between a 4 and a 5. I'm not positive on a 5 star, so I feel like at the moment in time, the highest is a 4.75. That's how I'm feeling right in this exact moment. But I feel like this next 40% is really where stuff is going to like amp up, especially in like the romance department, the education department, because now I'm like, is the voice in your head even wild magic? Or is it something good? But you're just so terrified of it that you think it's wild magic. Because it should be pushing you towards somebody, and it's not. So that's weird if it is wild magic. But alright, I think that is everything for days 3 and 4's vlog. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that this doesn't end up half as long as days 1 and 2. I loved it. I really loved editing that vlog, but I can't believe how long it was. But I'm gonna eat some pizza and I'm gonna get to bed because I do have a fun-filled day tomorrow, hopefully. I will tell you about it tomorrow. So don't forget to keep reading, stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.